So about a week ago, on a day like this, nice and rainy, just following a torrential downpour, I came out of this door to head to the car, and I stepped into a big puddle of water right on this step. And I'm like, terror, because I've just finished last year doing the ceiling, the walls, finishing the garage, more or less. It's cluttered, but so I step into a puddle and I start looking around, and there's water on the floor. The wall is wet. This cabinet covered in water, water everywhere. You can see it has split from being, so warning, IKEA furniture gets a little bit wet and it just splits. And I eventually traced it. Water was coming through this hole that I had made to allow the wiring to come in from the attic area. So, backstory. When we bought the house, there was a leak, and at the peak of the ceiling, before the ceiling was here, water would enter and run down the beam and sort of trickle down the corner onto the floor. So we knew about that. Had a roofer come in, paid lots of money. He said he fixed it, and I haven't thought about it since. And here we are. So that roofer 5 years ago went out of the roof right up here, right at the peak, did something, lots of banging, lots of money, shingles flying, something happened, the water more or less stopped. So I thought. More to come on that later. So when I discovered this leak, I had to come up here. I had to rip a hole in the wall between the main building and the garage, because there's no other access to that space above the laundry room. And what I found was not good. It's a very tricky space to access. So this is the wall right here between the main house and the garage attic. All in here was totally dry. Totally dry. I'm thinking, where is this water coming from? So I had to crack a hole in this wall. And to my horror, and it was way worse than this. It looked far bigger. I have photos. I will put those on. But this was just dripping with water. The water was everywhere. Everything was wet. And I had so much to the point that I put a bucket right under where the biggest spot, where it appeared water was falling directly. It was coming down the plywood and then picking a spot and just falling. Just a mess. So here we are. What to do? What to do? I see dollar signs. So now I'm stuck here with these images of water in my head, knowing that my new drywall ceiling is one good storm away from being ruined. And I really have no idea what to do. I've had one roofer in, professional roofer, apparently incapable of fixing it. So I'm just stuck. Right after I discovered the water and my head still spinning, I walked outside and looked up where I knew the leak to be now and took a photo. In this photo, I kept revisiting it and it stuck in my head because there was something weird about it that I just couldn't explain. And I kept coming back and looking at it and just figuring, why is that area behind the drain pipe still soaked hours after the storm had finished and the rest of the brick wall is now dry? Why? Over and over, back I went to that photo. And I would have my answer soon enough. The whole home renovation YouTube channel thing probably gives away the fact that I like doing my own repairs. But a roof seemed a little bit too far for me. I mean, I've already had a professional roofer come in and supposedly fix it. It's not fixed. Money was paid. Money's lost. I have a leaky roof. So now I'm back to, and I remember this journey 5 years ago, trying to get a roofer to engage with me to do a repair. Roofers apparently don't like doing repairs. They like getting jobs to do full roofs. Like, it's the only reason I can think of why I get ghosted by so many people. People answer the phone. Oh, yeah, I'll get back to you. I'll come visit. I'll give you a quote. You never hear from them again. Multiple emails, nothing. Ghosted. I had one guy even show up after some prodding, looked at the roof, never heard from him again. Wouldn't answer emails. What's going on? And here I am, leaky roof, rain in the forecast. What do I do?
Listen, do you want the job done right, or do you want it done fast?
Lovely evening in Ontario. But it's not all fun and games. I am trying to track down a massive roof leak in my newly finished garage. And first thing that I found, well, I've measured and figured out exactly where the water's coming in, and it's here. And I wonder how it's getting in there. And this is only one spot. There's more. Cracks in the ceiling around the flashing in various places. So it actually, on the inside, it looks like this has been going on for 40 plus years. I don't know how that's possible, because this probably hasn't been like this for 40 years. In any case, I gotta do something about it. And the plan is to absolutely fill this with some asphalt repair stuff and find any other opening. Water's got to be getting in here too. Look at that. Oh gosh. And did I mention I hate ladders? So this is unbelievable. This split was up against the wall like this, raining water down below it, exactly where the flashing had separated from the wall. Almost a direct pipeline into my garage roof. It all makes sense. Unbelievable. So instead of this sticking all the way out, we're gonna Tapcon it in so it's flush and fill all this with tar. And this is the primary spot, but not the only spot. About a third of the can. And I went a little nuts. Oops, because I hate being up here and I don't want to come back up here. I have fingers everywhere. Let's see what we've got. So this is a previous repair by some guy just after I moved in. He bent some regular shingles over as sort of a ridge cap. Don't think this was leaking. The main leak is right here. The water is just sort of going around and following this ceiling joist down, the ridge thingy. And I think what was happening was there was a split in the downspout facing the building, worst possible direction. So all the water was shooting against the wall and then going directly down where the flashing had separated from the wall. However, I think I've got it. And I'm going to reroute the downspout not to dump right there anyway. And I might run it all the way down to the bottom eaves.
To be continued.
So I only have two hands, and one hand was always busy holding on to something up on that roof. I hate heights. So I took that third of the can of the asphalt and went to town on all this. And it's not pretty, but you can't see it from the ground, so I really don't care. I'm quite certain it's now waterproofed.
Wrapping it up. So we've finished re-asphalting the flashing. A couple of Tapcons in here. Anything that looked like it had a gap down here has been filled, as well as some seams. A new gutter with no split in it. I think we're good.
And just one day later, we've got a nice rainy day to give things a proper test. And things are looking okay. Well, okay is as designed. I won't know if it's leaking until I go up in the attic. But it looks actually perfect, as expected. Okay, it's been raining solid now, overnight, into the morning. I have observed my new downspout in action. If there was going to be water leaking, it should be here now, without a doubt. Because I suspect this has been leaking on and off for decades, barring, well, the repair aside that lasted for a very short time. I think before that and after that, it's been leaking continuously for many years. But anyway, here we are. It's difficult to hang in here and not fall through the ceiling below me, so I'm going to just hold the camera in the light. I have had my hand around the corner up on that dark spot. That's just rotted now. That is not wet. It's just fully rotted. There's a piece of metal that somebody put in there at some point. I think it was the previous roofer in his repair. He did tell me that there was about a 6x6 inch hole, so that's probably it. I can see the shingle through a couple of new holes, so I think it's gotten larger. However, everything's bone dry. This is a win. I'm happy with this. Everything is dry. My repair, which I have documented in some detail, seems to be holding, and I think the rerouting of the water in that damn downspout was the real find. The split downspout, I think, was the real criminal here. But I think I'm going to declare victory. Although, I'm going to leave this open for, I don't know, 6 months? Longer? And occasionally check after heavy rainstorms and see if it redevelops. Because I do not want to seal this back up. I do not want to go through this again. I'm sure you can understand.